Hey guys, welcome back to Knights Code AI channel where we build cool stuff with AI. And today we've got an interesting video for you. We're basically looking at Google Notebook LM, looking at how we're kind of using it for drafting some of our ideas around this new channel. And I wanted to dive a little deeper into what we're actually doing and do a reaction to some of the artifacts that are being created by Google Notebook LM. And I should say, I've only been using Notebook LM for a few weeks. I migrated away from ChatGPT to Google primarily, so I use Gemini and now Notebook LM. And what we have here, what you're looking at, is several videos that I've already recorded of me just doing different things with AI in development and some other artifacts. Some of these are just transcripts from conversations that I've had with my team around AI and things like that and what this channel could be. So we wanted to use this Notebook LM to see, okay, just talk through some video ideas and some strategy ideas for the channel. And so we put all this in here. And what's really interesting about Google Notebook LM are the studio part where it can just take your data and kind of make artifacts out of it. Like flashcards, I don't know what you would use that for, but audio overview was very interesting. It created a podcast type soundtrack for based on all the information that I had, done here. After I did some of this audio and was just kind of blown away by two two AI voices doing an overview of everything that I had been talking about in these videos. Then I did a video overview as well, and it kind of created some video elements, some graphic elements to describe what I was talking about. And what we're going to do today is a reaction to the video overview and the also the audio overview, but mostly the video. I think is kind of the most interesting, and I'm going to score it as well. Like how accurate is it to how I feel the content that I was trying to create, and the accuracy of the content there. So let's lock in. Okay, so let's take a look at this video that was generated by Google's Notebook LM. And again, I've just dumped some videos that I've recorded doing different types of projects with AI and some transcripts of just talking about what we want this channel to be. And again, this is just an example of something I want to show you guys. I want to be completely transparent in even creating content for this channel we're using AI for. And I want to show you guys that. So here's an example. AI, your new creative partner, is the name of the video that was created by AI based on what it thinks I want this channel to be. So let's have a listen.
AI is completely changing how we build software. But, it's not really about replacement. It's about collaboration. Today, we're going to explore how AI is becoming this new kind of creative partner for developers.
Look, it's the question that's on everyone's mind in the tech world, right? With AI that can write code, plan entire projects, and even generate ideas, is the human developer, becoming obsolete?
Well, the reality is actually a lot more interesting. Instead of just replacing people, what we're seeing is a brand new way of working. A workflow where developers are actually teaming up with an AI coworker. To really get this, we're going to look at two very
Okay, the imagery here is interesting. Looks like up here you have a human and a robot maybe fighting, and I guess the idea is they're fighting for a position where only one of them will have the software development job. And then down here, they're sitting at a desk, coming up with ideas together in a completely symbiotic relationship. Isn't it wonderful? So the imagery is pretty cool. I mean, that it just came up with that.
Very different case studies from the same developer.
Okay, so our first case study. This one frames AI as the architect, and this approach is all about precision, structure, and really just getting the foundations of a project solid right from the very beginning.
So the developer's goal here was pretty straightforward. Build a basic API server. But the method he used was totally different.
Okay, so, it's saying the developer's goal here and the method he used without giving any reference to, what I actually created or built. And maybe that'll come, but, I feel like it's kind of losing me as this being an intro to the channel video.
He decided to go with an AI-first approach to force a really rigid,
And maybe it's not an intro, not even supposed to be. Maybe it just thought it was supposed to create a summary of the content on this channel.
well-defined process from the get-go.
Now, at the heart of this is something called spec-driven development. Think of it like this. The human, the developer, sets the high-level vision. They figure out the what and the why. And the AI, it handles all the nitty-gritty, tedious work of planning out the how.
And this is that
Back that up. Again, on the imagery, it is good. It's, it's drawing the eye to the page. It's got the what and the why, a brain and a cogwheel. That's pretty good. We have light bulbs all over the place for ideas like how are we going to do this, and why should we do this? So I like the display. I think that's good, but then let's listen to the content again.
The developer sets the high-level vision. They figure out the what and the why. And the AI, it handles all the nitty-gritty, tedious work of planning out the how.
I would disagree with that a little bit. I think we also use AI for the what and the why. I often use it as a sounding board to, bounce ideas off of and possibly come up with other ideas, or, ideas that I don't think are good. But even that helps me rule out some things that are potentially out there, and that helps me in the design process. So across the board, and that's, I mentioned that several times in the videos that are part of this Google Notebook, is that I use AI across the board for the entire development lifecycle. So
And this is that workflow in action. It starts with a constitution, basically setting the rules for the project. Then the developer just describes what to build, and the AI generates the tech plan and breaks the entire project down into this super detailed checklist. It's like having a complete roadmap generated in minutes. And the payoff? Oh, it's huge.
So this is a good high-level overview of Spec Kit, I would say. Constitution, specified plan, tasks. I use Clarify a lot, but you could build something with Spec Kit without Clarify. So, but then after tasks is implement as well, which is important. I like the display. I like how it, has numbered steps through a workflow, and the imagery behind them is interesting. It's engaging. So it did a good job there. I just think it missed a couple of steps.
It's like having a complete roadmap generated in minutes. And the payoff? Oh, it's huge. The developer figures this process saved him up to a full day of just painstaking planning. This isn't just about making things a little faster, it's a massive shortcut for all that foundational work.
I agree.
All right, now for our second case, and here the dynamic just flips completely. We're shifting gears from that rigid structure to something way more fluid and creative, with the AI now acting as a muse.
So in this situation, the developer wasn't building from scratch. He was trying to solve a really tricky design problem in his video game. The item system was just clunky, it was confusing, and honestly, it just wasn't fun. He really needed a creative breakthrough.
Okay. I don't know how I feel about it calling my item system clunky. Might be accurate. But yes, I did use AI to help me build a feature in a video game, which that video is going to be available shortly.
The old system was just bogged down with all this text and complicated rules that were really frustrating players. The new goal was to just toss all that out and replace it with a simple, visual system based on matching icons, something anyone could understand in a second.
I'm gonna let that slide. I'm gonna let that slide, AI. Okay.
Instead of giving the AI a command, the developer started a conversation. He used the AI like a creative partner, a sounding board to brainstorm with. It was a real back and forth. You can literally see that creative process right here. The developer's first idea, it had some flaws. The AI jumped in with a suggestion about archetypes, but the real breakthrough moment came from combining both ideas into a flexible
Okay. First of all, the imagery, again, I think is really good. Evolution of an idea. Idea one, AI tweaked the merge. So if you watch the video, I feel like it wasn't so much AI tweaking it was very much a collaborative effort, and there was some AI wanted to go down a certain path, and you know, I was against that. So I feel like I'm a little offended here. I think it's trying to take too much credit. But the imagery is great here. I really like this, and it's not too far off. I mean, this is close. There was an idea. It wasn't working great, so I did hit the sounding board. Came up with a different approach, and then we went into the co-pilot phase of actually trying to build out the prompts for the development and work through a couple of bugs and things to finally get it to work. So close.
icon system. That solution was born directly out of that human-AI dialogue. And here it is, that aha moment. That back-and-forth conversation didn't just solve the initial problem, it sparked a much, much bigger idea. It led to a complete redesign that was way more elegant and just added so much more depth to the game. The Muse really did its job. Okay, so we've seen AI as the architect and AI as the Muse. What do these two completely different modes tell us about the actual role of the human developer in this new world? I mean, it's a fair question, isn't it? If the AI is handling the detailed planning and helping with creative breakthroughs, what?
This doesn't look good. You have, you can barely read this text here. I mean, you can read it, but it doesn't look good. A graphics designer would do a much better job on this particular slide.
Is the core job of the developer anymore? Well, according to the developer, the human is still in charge of the big picture. We're talking about things like the project's core vision, its ideology, the architectural direction, and that really crucial, hard-to-define thing, taste. It's about knowing your field, understanding your users, and most importantly, knowing how to ask the right questions to guide the AI. And that really gets to the heart of it. The developer becomes this essential bridge. They're the strategist who knows when to lean on the architect for that disciplined, structured work, and when to call on the muse for that messy, creative exploration. So what all this is pointing to is a fundamental shift, a whole new paradigm for how we build everything, from servers to video games.
Yeah, I definitely feel like there's a new paradigm for development. 100%.
So to sum it all up, here are the two faces of our new AI coworker. On one side, you've got the architect, a process enforcer, perfect for structured, predictable projects. And on the other, you have the muse, a creative partner for those open-ended, messy problems. So, if coding and planning are becoming shared jobs,
Wait, I didn't
so if coding and planning are becoming shared jobs,
didn't
what
have
is the
time to
structured?
digest that. So, okay, let's see what they're saying here. Role output best for the role process enforcer, creative partner. Output, plans, and tasks for the architect. The muse gives ideas and feedback. And then the architect's best for structured projects. The muse is best for creative problems. So I think I get the gist of what it's trying to say with this video is you can use AI for architect and muse. I don't really see where we're using AI for implementation, which is also a primary part of the software development lifecycle. You have to have development, and I don't know why it skipped all over that, but and I kind of see the architect and the muse as very similar roles. I see the architect as a creative partner, ideas and feedback, but maybe it's drawing a line of someone. The muse could be someone more like a product manager or even an end user that has ideas about how gameplay should go or how an application should feel. I see, I'm not against that division, but trying to display the different ways to use AI on this channel, I'm not really trying to create this division between the architect and the muse.
Predictable projects. And on the other, you have the muse, a creative partner for those open-ended, messy problems. So, if coding and planning are becoming shared jobs, what is the single most valuable skill a developer can have as we move forward?
It really all comes down to this, the vision to ask the right question.
What's the answer going to be? Or is he already answering it? Hold on, let me back up.
So, if coding and planning are becoming shared jobs, what is the single most valuable skill a developer can have as we move forward?
Okay, so let's pause the video and try to answer this question. I'm going to try to answer it before hearing what AI says. And then, you guys pause the video too and answer it in the comments. What is the most important skill for developers now? And I would say understanding the requirements for a project in a very technical, at a technical depth, and understanding how to leverage all the tools that we have available to us in order to get a final product out. That role hasn't changed, actually. That was our role 5 years ago too, right? It's just the skills or the tools that we have available to do it are now better. So whereas you're going to, a lot of times in the past, in order to write some code that maybe you haven't done before, you might go look at code repo. You might clone a repo or something like that, or you might go to Stack Overflow and see if you can just grab a snippet of code and paste it in to do something like regex or needle in a haystack. I don't know, things like that, right? You would just go to Stack Overflow, copy and paste some code over, or go to one of your previous projects and bring that forward. So that was our tool, and that's what we used. But now we have Copilot to where we can just say, hey, give me an auto incrementer for this. Give me an auto incrementer function for this object, or give me a needle and haystack function for this. So it's just the tools that have changed, not the role, in my opinion.
It really all comes down to this, the vision to ask the right questions. The value is no longer just in writing the lines of code. It's in having the insight, the experience, and the creativity to guide this incredibly powerful tool. It's about being the architect of the questions, not just the architect of the answers.
Okay. Architect of the questions. I think I haven't really heard that particular phrase before. Architect of the questions. So, that's interesting. That's really another way of saying prompt engineering, but yeah, I think that's kind of cool. And I was pretty close. So here you have it. I've done the reaction to AI creating a video based on all the content that I've already created. And it was very interesting. I think it's really good at creating imagery and a flow around, the ideas that it thinks that I'm trying to get across. And the ideas were close. I think, it basically focused more on using AI as an architect and a sounding board and not the implementation part, which I definitely have some content on that. And so it missed part of it, but some of the imagery it created was really good, and I think it would be helpful to, put an idea in here into Notebook LM for, creating some content. Just put in your goals, kind of like I have here, and then it might come up with a thing and then say, okay, use this as you can go in here and let's say I wanted to use this actual intro recommendation from AI. I can go in here and save to note. So let me go back here, save to note. Now you see it's got the video transcript for the intro. And then you see I didn't actually go with this. I said you missed the import entirely, which it does sometimes. But I saved it as a note here. And then you can convert it to a source. So that was visual guide, this one. Then just use that and click on video overview. And it would try to create this for you. And maybe I'll do that as another video if you guys are interested. I can show you, this workflow. But if I take the recommendations here, do video overview, the least thing that would come out of that is it might give me some ideas for some of the visuals I need to put into the video. And, some of the audio might be good. The structure might be good. So I think it's definitely worth doing is talk to Google LM, have it come up with, kind of this transcript for your video or your script, and then turn it into a source, do a video overview of it, and actually I'll go ahead and do it, and then we'll put that in the next video. So thanks for watching, and if you like the content, definitely leave a comment. Let me know what else you'd like to see, because that's what I want to create videos on is, what's interesting. I'm not just trying to create videos for myself. So thanks a lot. See ya.